Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. I didn't really get into the hype train when it was coming out, but when I picked this game up, I fell in love with it. The story, the characters, the setting, I love this game. This game is so well made it makes you care more about your digital horse than a real life pet. Despite my love for this game, don't expect me to be kissing Rockstar's ass for the whole video. While I love this game to death, I personally feel it has a lot of flaws in some parts of the game. But we'll get to that. If you didn't already know, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a prequel to the first game, which makes sense. I mean, you can't really follow what happened in Red Dead 1 without pissing off a bunch of people. This game takes place before the gang disbanded and before Dutch went mad. You play as Arthur Morgan, a pivotal member of the gang and one of my favorite protagonists named Piece of Fiction. You're part of the gang you go up against in the first game. After a heist in Blackwater goes so wrong, everyone in the game would shut up about it for the entire game. You witness firsthand the acquiring a gang in Dutch's mental state, eventually resulting in the gang breaking up. That was a very simple summary of the story, but there's way more that happens, which we'll get to later on in the really spoiler-heavy section of the video. Can you tell I look good at summarizing stories? Anyway, this story is easily the most praised aspect of the game. Every single character here feels real, making any eventual character deaths or betrayals devastating. The two best examples here are Arthur and Dutch. Dutch's decline is one of the most well-written things I've ever experienced in a video game. The stress of money and being hunted takes its toll on him, and it's heartbreaking. Seeing Dutch turn from a charismatic leader into a bitter, hateful psychopath is absolutely heart-wrenching. Arthur's growing distrust in Dutch is also really well written, with both these character arcs being at their peak in Chapter 6. The story characters is why I fell in love with this game, and the reason why many others did too. Rockstar are masters of open world design. All their games have great worlds with loads of nooks and crannies to explore. Red Dead Redemption 2 is no different. Red Dead 2 has lots of things going on in the open world. You can get robbed, save a dude from death, get scammed, save a dude from getting robbed. There's a lot of things you can do. You can rob stores, use trains, get a haircut, go hunting, go fishing, find treasure via pictures NPCs give you, do get debt collecting, and so much more. Some of the things you do, like the robberies, have some issues though. Like for example, it feels really impossible to do the perfect robbery. Even if you execute everything perfectly, sneak in and rob the register without alerting anyone. Someone will always see, whether it's them walking in mid-robbery like the fucking Disney sitcom, or see you through the damn wall like they have X-ray vision, it's impossible not to get caught. Same thing goes for these trade heists. Like even if you have like a mask on with different clothes, some random cop 20 miles away will identify who's Arthur Morgan. You'll get a fat bounty. You have a camp you return to several times throughout the story. You can donate to the camp to buy upgrades for it, mainly for shop inventories and such. The thing is, there's literally no reason to do this. No members of the gang give you a hard time for contributing nothing. It would have been a good incentive to do trade robberies and heists if you needed to donate something. But there's not even a good incentive to do that, because the main story showers you with money anyway. Speaking of the main story, let's talk about that. Unlike the open world, the main quests usually boil down to listening to dialogue, following a yellow line and getting the shootouts, with the occasional stealth section. The main story and open world feel like two separate games. On one hand, you have a realistic cowboy simulator, on the other you have a linear roller coaster ride. I wish they had some of that open world design into the quests. And don't give me that like, oh, you can do different ways to try to do the quests. No, you can't most of the time. There's been times where I tried to tackle the objective in a slightly different way than Rockstar intended and got a mission fail. The way you can fix this is by having multiple ways to tackle the objectives other than going in, allowing guns blazing or stealthy, when the game actually allows you to be. Say you have to do a heist of a guy's house or something. He's brought himself in, all the doors are locked from the outside, so you gotta find a way in. You can use dynamite to blast open the door, but that won't let him end the woman. But it's a quick and easy option. You can hack hack the boards down on the windows and go through there, but it takes more time and won't alert them instantly. Or you can go through a window in the ceiling. It'll take less time and won't alert him. This would reward you for observing your surroundings. If they won't have this in the main story, then at least have it in the debt collecting missions, and make them much more fun and engaging, without ruining the story for the people who like the linear missions. Don't take this as me hating the main story and quests and such, but there is so much more potential here that Rockstar didn't do. Don't say all Rockstar games are like this either. Missions in GTA 3 had you do some really creative ways to do these missions. If you want a better summary of the linearity of these missions, just go watch Nakey Jakey's video on this game. He explains it way better than I ever could. A part of this game's appeal is its realism, which I found in most cases to be to its detriment and really annoying. In most cases, it's kind of little things like your horse's balls reacting realistically to the weather conditions, or how Arthur's body reacts to slipping down steep surfaces, or the ability to knock people's hats off in combat, or your hair and beard growing in real time, which you can trim at camps or hairdressers. But there's some really fucking annoying design decisions relating to realism. Some I don't really mind, like the looting system, where Arthur picks up each individual can of beans and inspects their label for like nutritional value or some shit. This really annoys a lot of people, but I personally don't mind it. It just be kind of annoying. And then there's stuff like Arthur unequipping weapons on his back and shoulder when he gets on the horse, making you manually re-equip them when you get off your horse, unless his guns teleport back on his back, which happens sometimes for some reason, because that's really realistic. Which can be really fucking annoying when you get jumped by O'Driscolls or rednecks. There's also the fact that the game makes you watch the entire animation of Arthur skinning an animal, which after the 5th time can get pretty damn annoying. I don't know why that annoys me so much. They could just leave the animation in and let you skip it, but that's not realistic enough, is it? Oh yeah, horses. You can find horses and take them back to a stable or camp to clean them. And whoever made the horse mechanics in this game deserves a raise. You bond with your horses by feeding them and brushing them, petting them, or just riding them around. By doing this, you can unlock new skills for your horses, such as the really useful brake that saved me and my boy Jim Bob's ass more times than I can count. As I said earlier, this game makes you care more about your digital horse than a real life pet, and it's devastating when they die. I would know, I've went through 3 of them. If your horse does fall, fear not, you can save them with Horse Revive, which after like my last 3 horses died I've stocked up on. So yeah, I really like the horse mechanics in this game if you couldn't already tell. The customization in this game is pretty good too. You can customize all your weapons with a few exceptions. I made all my guns gold because
I love gold!
Once you buy all the weapons you want, the game becomes a cowboy fashion simulator. I made one outfit for each of the weather conditions and mainly stuck with them for the rest of the game. This game also looks incredible. Like, I cannot state how good this game looks. Whether it's the bustling cities of Saint Denis or the quiet countryside, this game never fails to make me go, holy shit, this game looks good. Okay, let's talk about the combat in this game. It's a mix between the first game's combat and GTA 5's. It can be pretty diverse. You can shoot people, use Deadeye to slow down time and make it easier to aim, fist fight them like a man, bring a knife to a gunfight, lasso them and bring them over to you to finish them off, chuck dynamite at them, kill them with a horse or with it. There's a lot of things you can do. The problem I have with the combat is that it's infinitely more effective to just shoot them, so I don't have any reason to use any of the less effective combat options like melee combat, lassos or dynamite, because it's just infinitely more effective to just shoot them. Sure, you can argue that if you don't maintain your weapons they get less effective, which is basically the weapon degradation system from Fallout, but I purposely didn't find the system to encourage experimenting. It just takes slightly more shots to kill them, which doesn't even seem to apply to shotguns at all. The game had so much more potential for great combat too. If they just made bullets more rare and expensive instead of just being literally $1 from gunsmiths, or made them jam if you didn't properly maintain them, you'd be forced to just use the lesser combat options and it'd just be way more engaging. Take a game like Breath of the Wild for example. In that game your weapons can break, so you're forced to use other combat options. like dropping a metal crate on a dude, using bombs, or attaching a balloon to a bomb barrel and then shooting it when it floats over the group. The combat is insanely engaging for that reason. Breath of the Wild's combat is probably my favourite combat in any game ever, and if Red Dead 2 had the small improvements I've listed, it'd probably be one of, if not my favourite combat in any game ever. Okay, there's going to be some major spoilers for the last quest in Chapter 6 and the epilogue. So if you want to avoid spoilers for a 2-year-old game, skip to the timestamp on the screen. Here, I'll give you like 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now that the big boys are left, let's just talk about the final mission. Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption. This mission is insane. In this mission alone, your horse dies. You die for good, either by being shot in the head, or dying of your sickness, which you get later on in the story. Each depending on your honor meter. When you die, you lose everything. All your progress so far from the camp. So just create a separate save file before this mission. I need to bring this up because the next thing I'm going to cover. The epilogue. The epilogue is 2 chapters where you play as John Marston, the protagonist from the first game and side character in this game. It takes place where after you beat most of Red Dead 1, but before John gets killed. This chapter has some returning characters like Uncle and Charles, and has some really memorable sequences like the house building mission, where you build a house with Uncle and Charles, which has my favourite song in the game in any Rockstar game. I won't spoil the ending of the game, even though it's a spoiler section. I feel like it's something you need to experience yourself. If you've played through the game, you'd know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's get to the online. Okay, I'm mainly covering this because I feel like I have to. This will be quick. My friends really like this mode, and if you do, that's fine. But for me, the online in this game is just more boring GTA Online. And I already don't like GTA Online. It has a story which I don't really care about, which is weird coming from a game, which I know and love from how amazing its story and characters are. It seems to be way more improved back when I played online for a while. Like when I played, you need to do like quests with other people. Like no matter what, you need to have like a full party. Even the DM tutorial needed you to do this. Now you can do those quests solo, which made it way easier to record footage because the game is dead on Xbox. I cannot fucking find anyone in the servers. Please add crossplay to the game, Rockstar. It will make the game feel less empty on Xbox. Also, like 80% of the clothes and stores you have to buy digital currency for or grind for a while to buy a coat. And customization for your guns as well. Which I would be fine with if you didn't need to pay for the fucking game. The standalone of Red Dead Online is already like 20 Australian dollars. Why does this game need microtransactions? Just remove them and make you earn the currency. Or just have you pay for them with the actual in-game currency that isn't gold. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the online. If you like it, more power to you. Keep enjoying the game. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Oh, should you buy this game? Absolutely. This game is amazing. Despite all the flaws, I still love and recommend it. It's one of my favourite games of all time after all. But do I think this game is flawless and 100% deserves a Metacritic score and an endless sea of 10 out of 10s? No! But anyway, buy the game. See ya.